Well, hey, Mountainside, it's Tuesday again, and as I always say, and I truly mean it, hope you've gotten off to a blessed start this week. Mine has been interesting to say the least. Back in the month of March, I received a letter from the state, and Vera and I happen to live in Santa Fe County, and basically, I was called to serve as a juror the month of April, May, and June. And what happens basically every Friday, I have to get on this website and see whether or not I'm being called to serve that coming week, which is basically the way they do it Monday through Friday. So the first 3 weeks, check the website. Never had to go to Santa Fe. This past Friday, I checked, and sure enough, my group number was called up. So I get up very early yesterday morning because I don't really know that much at all about that particular part of Santa Fe. I don't know much about Santa Fe, period, but I didn't want to be late and get in trouble. So I get there pretty early. I find they have multiple parking garages that they recommend you go to, and then you have to walk, in some cases, several blocks to get to the courthouse. But anyway, it all worked out. I had plenty of time. I get to the courthouse. I didn't take me but a second to figure out where outside we were supposed to wait, because they're doing, all the social distancing and everything as they, take your information. And as soon as a young lady came to me and asked my name and stuff, I found out that I didn't really need to be there. So I wasted a 120-mile round trip, basically. But that's okay. I didn't get uptight about it. I enjoy driving, so I liked seeing the countryside. I went one way there, and I took another way coming back to Albuquerque. And so basically, I have 8 more Fridays that I have to check the website, and hopefully I don't have any more false alarms. Now, to everyone out there this evening, remember, hey, this Sunday is Mother's Day, so don't forget to make those phone calls, send those cards, whatever your tradition is in your particular family. I also want to share a funny story with you. This past Sunday, Matt Savay and I have been teaching together. We just alternate every other week. The class that's in the family center in the gymnasium. And as you can imagine, sometimes things come up and we have to get a hold of each other, and we just trade Sundays if someone has to be out of town. And several weeks ago, when we first began this study that we're in now in the book, basically studying the book of Nehemiah, Matt and Nikki knew they had to go to Texas, take care of some family business. And so we traded. I took week 1. He was to take week 2, which is chapter 2. And so we traded. So I did week 1 and week 2, and then he, was going to take up with chapter 3, which was this past Sunday. Well, if you've ever looked at Nehemiah chapter 3, I don't know what else to call it, but I thought Matt said it very well. It's a construction blueprint. All it is the information of the different gates that were repaired and the sections of the wall and who did the repairs. There's really nothing there that's kind of exciting, challenging as far as Bible study material. But I'll have to say, Matt handled that very well, and I think we were all blessed. I mean, thank goodness Matt was a history major in college, and he was able to make it pretty interesting. So thank you, Matt. My hat is off to you. Now, this Sunday is, of course, it's Mother's Day, and it's a day that, yes, it's very special. But for some others, we know that it's difficult just because of circumstances in their own personal lives. And we understand that. And I hope and pray, though, that for most of us, Mother's Day is a time where our memories, our experiences they're just filled with joy, filled with love. And no mother is perfect. No mother will ever be perfect. But regardless of your circumstance, may we always be willing to make the best of where we are right now, because this is what matters, the here and now. We can't change the past. We got to move forward. And may all of you that are right in the middle of being mothers right now, may you be as Christ-like as you possibly can be. And if you're through with that stage of motherhood, then just look at our mothers now and be there for them. Encourage them in any way that you can. None of us can change the past, but it is our choice what our future direction's going to be. I came across something that I thought would give us something to laugh about as concerning mothers and Mother's Day, and it's pretty neat. And at the same time, I think it's going to date myself and a whole lot of others as I read this, and you'll understand in just a moment. But it's basically just a bunch of one-liners that really expresses the things that we learn from our mothers, and I hope you get a laugh out of it. It's titled "The Things Our Mothers Taught Us." My mother taught me to appreciate a job well done. If you're going to kill each other, do it outside. I just finished cleaning the house. My mother taught me about religion. You better pray. That comes out of the carpet. My mother taught me about time travel. If you don't straighten up, I'm going to knock you into the middle of next week. My mother taught me logic. Because I said so, that's why. My mother taught me foresight. Make sure you wear clean underwear in case you're in an accident. My mother taught me irony. You keep crying and I will give you something to cry about. My mother taught me about the science of osmosis. Shut your mouth and eat your supper. My mother taught me about stamina. You'll sit there until all that spinach is gone. My mother taught me about weather. This room of yours looks as if a tornado went through it. My mother taught me the circle of life. I brought you into this world and you can finish the rest, and I can take you out. My mother taught me about behavior modification. I like this one. Stop acting like your father. My mother taught me about envy. There are millions of less fortunate children in the world who don't have wonderful parents like you do. My mother taught me about anticipation. Just wait until we get home. My mother taught me about receiving. You're going to get it when you get home. My mother taught me medical science. If you don't stop crossing your eyes, the wind will change and you will stay like that. My mother taught me how to become an adult. If you don't eat your vegetables, you'll never grow up. My mother taught me genetics. This is another good one. You act just like your father. My mother taught me about my roots. Shut that door behind you. Do you think you were born in a barn? My mother taught me wisdom. When you get to be my age, you'll understand. And my mother taught me about justice. One day you'll have kids, and I hope they turn out just like you. Oh my goodness, we could probably go on, couldn't we? But on Mother's Day, all kidding aside, the majority of us, we can't say enough good things about our mothers. But we need to be guilty of trying because they have blessed us in so many ways. Our mother's hands, is there ever a time they're not working? How about our mom when she speaks? She speaks wisdom and she does it often. How about our mother's hearts? They love us like no one else can, period. So this Sunday, make your Mother's Day, make that her day, make it special. But at the same time, maybe we shouldn't just do it on that one Sunday a year. Let's try and make an effort to do it every single day. Thank you, moms. You are a blessing to us all. Have a good night. God bless.